Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vassell. Welcome to a live playthrough of the Duke, me versus everyone else. Well, not quite. Well, I'll explain a little bit about how the game is going to be against other people. But first of all, before we jump into that, we're going to talk a little bit about the Duke and how to play against the Duke. First of all, you'll notice that I wrote on my board, which is to mess with all the OCD people. Whoops. Let's turn that off. Okay. Anyhow, so in the Duke, which is made up of a grid, and I actually lettered and numbered this so that you guys can give me where you want pieces to move. So for example, if you want to move this piece from E3 to D3, you would say E3 to D3. That just makes it a lot easier for me to read what you have. Yeah, I wrote on the board, but it's not a big deal for a couple of reasons. One, it doesn't really ruin the game that much. Two, I have more than one board. And three, it bugs OCD people. So anyhow, we're going to be playing the Duke. And the way the Duke works is your job is to capture your opponent's Duke. Now, I have this set up here the way that the book shows their sample setup. I thought that'd be the fairest way. You guys are going to be the darker pieces. I will be the lighter pieces. And like I said, the goal is to capture the opponent's Duke. On your turn, you can pick, you have three options. The third option is use a special ability, which there's no special abilities that are out at this point in time. But you also can take a piece on the board and move that piece. Now, when you take a piece on the board and move that piece, you can move that piece based on how that piece shows it moves. So, for example, this footman here, it shows four black dots next to it. That means the footman can move here, here, or here. He can't move here because there's a piece there. If he was here and there was a piece behind him, he can move and capture that piece, but you can't capture your own pieces, obviously. Whenever you move somewhere, after you're done moving a piece, you'll then flip it to the other side, which, as you can see, has a completely different layout. And if you want to, you can see the other side. So, you might say, hey, let me see the other side before I move. And then next turn, then maybe this guy moves here. Then he flips again. So you're starting with two footmen. The footmen have dots on each side of them. And on the other side, they go diagonally or they can go one forward. Now that black dot there does not let you jump. You actually have to be able to move there through nothing else. The Duke has these two arrows on him. That basically lets him slide like a rook piece, so he could slide over here. Again, there has to be nothing in between. And then like this, and then the Duke, then he can slide all the way there, and then he can move over here, and so on and so forth. The other thing you can do on your turn is instead you can say, hey, I want to draw another piece from the bag, summon another piece. You'll pull a piece from the bag randomly, and that piece will start on an empty spot next to your Duke. So you can pick, you see what the piece is first, and then you can decide what spot, unless, of course, in this case, there's only one spot to put a piece. So you're either going to move a piece, add a new piece, or use a special ability of a piece that you have on the board. Now, to make this game easier, I'm going to explain each piece as they come out. That way we're not overwhelmed and you don't have to worry about what all the special abilities are. If they're not on the board, don't worry about the special abilities of those pieces. Secondly, because I don't want to sit here and wait for everyone to come, and because I'm at a huge disadvantage, I'm playing against a bunch of people. There's not a lot of people online right now. There's only 46, but this could go higher. Even 1 against 2 people puts me at a disadvantage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one of you. And we're going to start with Chuck, okay? Chuck Polenzani. He is going to be the main player, and everyone else can give him ideas and thoughts and say, hey, do this. But at any time I want, I can switch who I'm playing against, and I'll pick somebody else. That does a couple things. It lets more people play against me, but it also gives me a slight advantage because I'm not necessarily playing as strong of groupthink as I would be otherwise. Because I'm in an abstract game such as the Duke, I should lose to a bigger group of people. So if everyone understands how the rules of the game work here, again, mentioning that you start with 2 footmen and a Duke. The footmen can go 1 space in any direction, and the Duke can slide. So Chuck, we're going to let you make the opening move. If you want to add a piece, just say so. Then I pull the piece out, and you can see where it goes if there's multiple options. If you want to move a piece, you can just do so on the board. Again, anyone who's not Chuck can give him clues, and at any point in time, I can switch Chuck from being the main player to somebody else. Okay? Yes, Chuck is one of those names that you cannot sing the name song to, sorry. There's actually several names you cannot do that with. All right, Duke Chuck. Chuck did not take anyone's advice and just decides to go F4 to E4. So move this piece up and turn this one over. I'm going to actually start by pulling a piece from the bag. And I'll put the bag here so you can see that I'm randomly pulling so that I'm not cheating. And I have a knight. Now a knight has some clear dots on him. And those means that he can jump to those spots. So this knight moves just like a knight in chess, so he could hit here and here, but he also can regularly move here, here, to the space behind him and a space 2 behind him. So that was my opening move to bring out a knight. Chuck had moved the footman up 1. And now give Chuck some ideas of what to do next. I've survived 1 move in the game, I'm very pleased. Remember, if you're watching, you can give Chuck ideas for moves. And if you're very involved, you just may be the person who plays next. Who might take over from Chuck at any point in time. All right, a lot of people are recommending that Chuck pull out a new piece. All right, a new tile. Well, I believe when you draw the new tile, yeah, you draw the tile first. So once again, let's draw the tile. I believe that you could draw the tile first and then you can place it. Yeah, it doesn't say. I'm going to let you pick where you do it. So you can pick where if it goes in F2 or F5. And you have a priest. Now the priest has diagonal slides, so it moves just like a bishop. And on the other side it has jumps just like the knight. So it's going to start like this. So it can go in F2 or it can go in F4. So those are your 2 choices. Which one would you like it in? The rules are somewhat ambiguous on whether you can draw it first and decide where it goes. I'm assuming you can pick where it goes after you draw it. Alright, well, I'm just waiting for you guys to decide whether it goes to F2 or F4. Chuck, just go ahead and pick which one. So he now has basically a bishop on the board. One of the reasons I like the Duke, everyone, is I like, first of all, that the pieces show you how to move. So you're not constantly having to decide where it goes. So Chuck picks F4. I'm going to move this footman up and flip it over. All right. It's y'all's turn now. Now there's a sequel to this game called The Jarl, which is another one of the games that I'll be playing this week with y'all. It's basically the exact same game, but the pieces move differently. Alright, well the piece is there in F4, and I have moved my footman up. So now, what move should you make next? What are you going to do? I know what I would do. Remember when you make the move, so let's say you're going to move this guy here, you would say E3 to D3. It just helps out a lot. So people are recommending that you move the priest, which seems like a reasonable idea. Alright, well that looks like that's going to be it. So F4 to D6, which is actually quite a good move. I think I'm going to move my knight over one spot. So now that the knight's flipped over, he can slide all the way forward and he can move back diagonally. Now, guys, I'm going to insist on something here, since again I'm playing the entire internet and you guys can move backwards and look. If you want to know what's on the back of a piece, I'm going to show you when I first pull that piece out, so you're just going to have to remember, or you can ask somebody else what you're going to do next. Brandon asks, is this all leading up to a Tom vs. Internet for Onitama? Brandon, that is in the past. That actually happened yesterday. You can see a Tom vs. Internet for Onitama. I did that one first. But we have lots of different games we're going to be playing this week, and we've already played Magical Athlete earlier today. We are playing the Duke. This will not be the last game of today. I'd like to do at least one more, maybe even two more. Depends. There's a lot of things that can happen between now. So... so where are we now? It's 89 people against 1. Chuck says he wants to move E3 to D3. Opinions? People want more Onitama. Why return to that? It's possible. It's possible. But one of the things I like about gaming is it's just the wide variety of gaming. And so I want to show as many different games as I possibly can. I think I will put somewhat of a limit on how many times players can, how much time you guys have, because we got to decide here quickly. So I'm saying time is up, Chuck. Go ahead and pick one. E3 to D3. So E3 to D3, we move him up. And now footman versus footman. Well, that's interesting. If I kill the footman, that's going to force your footman there. But I think I might be okay with that, actually. So let's do that. I'm going to kill your footman with my footman, which puts my footman like that. And I've captured your footman. And yes, thank you for those of you saying it's a great way to try before you buy. But that's hopefully what I'm doing here. This is a little bit different than, like Rado does a very similar thing, right? He shows you how to play the game and his thought process. But I would like to have you guys also make your thought processes during games. So I thought this would be an interesting thing. Just so you guys know, this is about it's at least 30-second delay, which is why sometimes things take a while before you guys go. All right. What I also think is interesting that these flip. If that footman hadn't flipped, that would have been a great thing here. All right, capture the footman. E4 to D3. So, all right. I'm going to add another piece next to my Duke. Come on, give me a good one. Give me a good one. A longbowman. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. I do like the longbowman. Now, the longbowman, as you may notice, is kind of boring on the front. He can move sideways. But on the back side, these stars here means he can kill a piece without actually going to where that piece is. So I like that a lot, and I think this would be a good spot to put him. Tom says he captured the piece, but he actually killed it. You know, I'm so used to it in these games. These games almost never have you kill a piece. It's always capture or knockout. We used to play Overpower and be like, oh, you knocked him out. You knocked him out. I'm like, did these guys ever get killed? You're right, he's probably killed. But I'm just so used to saying capture. I think that's what you say in chess, right? Capture a piece. So, killing seems kind of powerfully annoying. But anyhow, it's your turn. Still letting Chuck take the lead, but you never know who might take over from him anytime. New piece, says Chuck. And Chuck, your new piece is the Wizard. All right, so the Wizard's a really awesome piece too. The Wizard can hit any space around him and then jump to any space in a longer area around him on the other side. That's a tremendous piece. You just need to tell me where to put him. I should have a second camera on the reference card. No, I like again. I think this is one of those games where okay, I'm going to stop covering the piece with my hand here. I just noticed that you can't see it. So this is the Wizard on one side, and that's the Wizard on the other side. Where do you want your Wizard? In F2, E3, or F4? That's true. In Battle Chess, they got killed. I miss Battle Chess. All right, E3. And it's time for a switch. Director Felix, you are now the lead player. Unless you, of course, say no, then I'll pick somebody else. So Director Felix is now the lead player for the good guys. That's you. Now I'm the bad guy. I'll move. And so let's see here. I'm going to move my longbowman here like that. I do like that. I do like my longbowman. All right, so Director Felix is going to be picking the next move, so you guys can give him things. And you never know, Chuck. It may swing back through you, but there are a lot of people playing now, so we'll see. You guys have decided the next move to make. Remember, you're trying to capture the Duke. You can move one of your 4 pieces on the board. The Duke can slide in different directions. The Wizard can hit all these spots. The Footman can hit these spots. The Priest can hit this one, jump to this one, hit this one, jump to here. Or you could add a new piece next to here. All right, so people are giving him some ideas. What should he do? Some people are saying D3 to C3. Some people are saying E3 to D2. So, but Director Felix said E3 to D2. That was him. All right, so the Wizard is moving here, which is an intriguing move that allows him to jump here, 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 or here. I am actually going to use my longbowman to shoot the Footman and just kill him outright, which flips my longbowman back to this side. So now it is your turn. You have the Wizard who can jump in different directions. You have the Priest who can move or jump, and you have the Duke who can slide anywhere in the back row. So now it's your turn to decide what you're going to do next. Again, I apologize, guys. I don't mean to cover the whole board with my hand, so I'll try to keep my hands out of there as much as possible. So far, I've killed 2 footmen, and you've killed 1 footman. I have 4 pieces on the board. You have 3. Although in this game, that doesn't mean anything because on your next turn, you can simply just bring on a new piece. So it's up to you guys as to what to do next. Some people said D2 to B4. Other people are saying D2 to D4. Some people are saying bring on a new piece. But it is up to Director Felix to decide. And he says draw a tile. So once again, I'll do it in front of everybody so you know that I'm not cheating. The Duchess. All right, folks. Now, the Duchess is one of the pieces that has a special ability. Okay, so first let's talk about the Duchess here. The Duchess has can move to the sides or can move 2 back, and on the other side the exact same thing. But the Duchess also has a number 1 down in the corner, and that's called a summon. You can summon a tile. So the player can flip the Duke tile and move this tile from wherever it is and put it next to the Duke with its current side up. So anytime you want, you can pull this tile and put it next to the Duke as a special action. You'll also notice these command tiles around the Duchess. They're these little, they have like things, they're in the 2 spaces next to her on this side, and they're also in the spaces around her on this side. It's the exact same on both sides, really. And instead of moving her, you can pick a tile that's from one of those squares and put it in one of those other squares. So let's say the Duchess was here. You would be able to move the wizard from here to here, or here, or here. She basically can move people around. That's what that command means. So the Duchess is going to be here, here, or here. The Duchess, no matter where she is, can be summoned back next to the Duke too. So you're just going to decide whether she goes in E3, F2, or F4. So that's up to you. The Duchess is one of my least worried. I'm glad you guys drew the Duchess. I'm not glad you drew the Duke, though. So we're just waiting to decide where the Duchess will go. And Director Felix says E3. So that's where she is. So now it's my turn. Your priest and wizard are really cramping my style. So I believe we're going to open the board up. I'm going to slide the Duke over here like this. Yeah, that looks good. Now my Duke has the ability to slide forward in this row. So Director Felix is now going to decide where to go with the Duke. You guys are going to decide which of these pieces to move, or you could summon in either of these 2 spots next to the Duke. So which is the action that you would like to take? Again, I think the wizard may be my favorite piece from the Duke, at least from the original ones. There's a whole lot of extra pieces that the game comes with that you can replace. So while you guys are deciding, like, for example, here's a trebuchet, which all you do on one turn is flip it. Then the other turn you hit everything in one spot. There's a King Arthur set. Here's Morgana, and you can see different pieces and how they move. Here's the Spectre, which scares pieces around it, and Maid Marian from Robin Hood. There's all sorts of different pieces. Whew. I'm seeing some people are saying move F3 to F2, move your Duke here to protect the wizard. And that's what Director Felix Alex has done. Oh! However, I believe it is time for me now to draw a tile. So, let's do it. This is my fix for my dislike of playing games solo. Yeah, I don't have to play games solo. I'm playing them with hundreds of people. I guess. All right, what do I got here? I also drew the Duchess. Well, this could be really intriguing. Man, I don't like the Duchess. She's probably my least favorite character in the game. I guess I'll stick her here. All Alright, alright, alright. So, by the way, for everyone saying thank you, it's my pleasure, guys. I like doing stuff like this. We're just kind of showing how this game works. I think Catalyst has done an excellent job. This is probably the best game they put out, maybe other than Battletech. But it's my favorite game that they have. So we are now waiting for Director Felix to go. Can't believe I drew the Duchess. So some people are saying move the priest to b4. Some people are saying move the wizard and pin the Duchess. Director Felix says d6 to b4. The wizard moves here. Not actually sure what that move is all about. Oh, I see why you did that. Well, I don't want to lose my longbowman, but I guess I'm going to kill your wizard because I don't like you having the wizard. Alright, so I've done the longbowman. Oh man, this one guy's like, move the Duke to E, then E1, then A1, mate! What? Okay guys, let's not be mating me into so many moves. You never know what might happen. You never know what piece I might pull. Come on guys. Alright, Director Felix, what do you want to do? Oh, I did the wrong piece. Sorry. Your priest, you moved the priest there. But I would have also killed your priest. So, your priest is dead, not your wizard. Alright, got it. No problem. Alright, my apologies, Director. And I have fixed my mistake. You can't make an error, apparently, when you're playing 100 people. They will certainly catch it, for sure. Alright, so that's actually saddened me, because I mean, killing your priest is good for me, but killing a wizard would have made it so much better. I'm glad people are shouting at me to put the wizard back when I have very obviously done it. So, what is going to happen now? Leave my longbowman alone. Ooh, Director Felix Allen says to draw. Alright. Wait, that's the wrong bag. Purple bag. By the way, Director Felix, you are going to pick where this piece goes, and then we're going to be handing it over to Trevin Taylor. And, oh, the assassin. Alright, the assassin. Now, you'll notice the assassin piece here has these things here, but they are jumps. Okay, they're jump slides, so you can move that and you can ignore any tile that's next to you. So basically, if the assassin tile was here, here, he could jump the Duchess tile and then keep sliding. Okay, so the assassin tile is a very deadly tile. He can move forward slide and jump, or reverse diagonally slide jump, and on the other side he can go forward diagonally slide jumps and he can reverse slide jump. All right. Where are we putting it, Director Felix? E2, he says. All right, Trevor's in charge now. Ooh, that's a really good thing. Now, if I'm correct here with this jump slide, they can move in direction, completely ignore any tile that might be adjacent along the direction. So the assassin can jump the wizard, but the assassin cannot jump the duchess. Okay, so the assassin can't just pick anything in that whole row. He can't kill the duke, but if the wizard moves, then the assassin could get the duke the next turn. Meanwhile, the duchess is going to flip and use her command to move the longbowman here, I believe. Like that. Oh, wait, the longbowman doesn't. Sorry, the longbowman doesn't flip over. All right, Trevor. I did say Trevor, right? Yes, Trevin. Trevin. Hey guys, I don't want to lose in like 5 moves. Come on now. All right, Trevin, what moves next? You can move one of these 4 pieces, or you can bring in a piece on either side of the duke in F1 or F3. Yes, if you're asking, black things are moves and whites are jumps. Trevor wants to know what's on the back of the wizard. That. Some people are saying move the wizard to B2. Trevin, you get to decide what to do. Most people are saying move D2 to B2, but a few people are saying move E2 to B2. Trevin says move the wizard to B4. Okay? That is actually not what anyone told you to do. So I'm assuming you're working on my side. All right. Well, not really sure what to do here. Let's see. Because your assassin can kill me next turn. I'm not sure that I can. I think you win no matter what I do here, actually. Because if I move the duchess, the assassin can still jump. Oh no, I'm not adjacent to you. Oh, never mind. The assassin can't get me because the assassin can only jump an adjacent piece. Okay, so I'm safe from the assassin for now. The wizard, on the other hand, can kill my knight or my longbowman. And since that is the case, and my longbowman is probably dead, I'm just going to kill the duchess with it. Alright, which flips my longbowman to here. Alright, what you going to do with the wizard? Someone says, it's probably my second account. No, I do not. Guys, I don't care that much if I win or not. I do like to win. I just... Alright, Trevor, what you doing next? Alright. Robert strongly picks move E2 to C2. Oh, well. It is what it is. Wizard takes the longbowman. B4 to B3. Joseph wants to know, what is this leader crap? It should be majority. Joseph, this is the only chance I have. If it's majority, I will always lose. I have to make someone a leader. I should have started with Trevor. The wizard has moved up. Now, I cannot kill the wizard with my Duchess because that will then have the assassin go. I'm really in a bad spot here, though. That assassin is killing me. So I don't really know what I can do here, except I guess I'll draw another piece and hope that its piece can save me. Oops, that's your bag. Sorry. All right. It's the Marshal. The Marshal can slide back and forth in both directions, and he can jump very far. 2 up and 2 over. And on the flip side, he can move in all sorts of spaces, and even has a little bit of command on the front. Well, I guess I'll put him here. I don't think... All right, Trevin, what you doing? Trevin says, draw new tiles. All right. Your new tile is the champion, who can move and or jump, and then he can attack close to him, or he can jump. A really cool piece. Decide whether he goes into F1 or F3, please. And after this, we're going to make... Let's see here. We're going to make the Darkness the new leader. All right, the Darkness. After we decide where this piece goes, you will be the new leader. F1. All right. The Darkness is now the new leader. I'm going to move the Marshal to here. Yeah. All right. So the Marshal is now there. So now it's your turn. The Darkness. You are going to decide. You guys can give him some ideas. So some people are saying move from B3 to B1. Other people are saying... someone just cast a magic missile at the Darkness, which is actually hilarious. Kabuki Kid says move B3 to B1 or A1. Actually can't move A1 with B3. You can only move to B1, B5, or D3. One person says move F1 to D1. That would be interesting. But we're waiting on the Darkness to make the final move. Is the Darkness here? Because I'm not seeing anything from them. I see Director Felix and Chuck And Morphman Dude wants to know, where are the Cheetos? The darkness says they get swallowed. Why don't you actually give us an answer as where to move? Alright, come on now. Come on, come on, come on. What do you guys want to do? F1 to D1. Okay, are you guys like trying to let me survive for a long time? I really feel like there's this super niceness going on here. Someone asked why the Bowman was different. They're on a different grid than the other characters. They're on the same grid as everybody else. See? I don't see that the grid's any different. It's the same grid. Okay, anyhow, my turn. Alright, I'm going to move the Marshal here. Like this. Alright, darkness. I see that you're toying with me. Thank you, guys. Thank you. This is like I'm like a mouse, and the cat's pawing me around. All right, guys. What's next? Darkness, your turn. Alright, so Chuck says move E2 to C2. Some people say move B3 to B1. E2 to C2 is what the majority is saying. So let's see if that is what people want to do. B3 to B1, some people. E2 to C2 is what he says. So we have E2 to C2, capturing him. That then flips the assassin. Oh, that's interesting. I'm going to move the Duchess here, I think, and flip her. Alright, so some people are saying C2 to D2. But it's all up to the darkness. Some people are saying the wizard should take out the Duchess. B3 to B1. For those of you watching this later on, this is how you toy with someone when you're crushing them. Alright. Just waiting on the darkness to decide. A lot of people are recommending B3 to B1. But some people are also saying C2 to E2. C2 to E2, says the darkness. I swear, you guys. Alright, fine. I'm drawing. I got the seer. Interesting. Alright, Darkness, let's move. Move the assassin back to E2. I did. I think the Darkness must have a really, really delayed thing here, because I am Assassin or Darkness. You need to make sure that you are live and not a minute behind. Alright, so what are we going to do now? People are saying B3 to B1, D1 to B1, B3 to B1, E2 to B2. So several different options here. The Darkness says take the Duchess. Well, there's two pieces that can take the Duchess, the Champion and the Wizard. The Wizard can jump this way, the Champion can jump that way. I really need to know which one. Yes, which one? I actually forgot who I said whose turn it was. Did I say it was Joseph Harris's turn? I think B3 to B1, yes. Alright, Joseph, what are you doing now? Oh, the Wizard, duh. Okay. Well, there's nothing I could do there. So, some thoughts here on the game real quickly. The Duke, getting him stuck behind a piece like that was just a really dumb move for me to do. I could not move him, especially when you drew the Assassin. Getting the Assassin and having him covered by your Duke was a great combo, and yes, you guys could have won like 10 moves earlier. Alright, so what we're going to do here now is we're going to play this one more time, because that wasn't too bad. But this time, instead of you guys playing against me, I'm going to have you guys play against each other. So we're going to make teams. Alright, so I'm going to pick the tan team. So we're going to call you, since people go to the beach to get tan, we're going to call you Team Beach. And then we have the light tan team. And so we're going to call you the nerds, because nerds stay inside and don't get tans. So it's nerds. I don't want to call these beach. We'll call these jocks, okay? So jocks versus nerds. So I want you to tell me what side you like to be on, and then I'll pick a leader for each side, but I'm going to rotate the leaders like I did before, so you have an opportunity to pick your side. So just tell me if you want to be on the nerds or the jocks, and you know, if everyone joins one side, that's not that good either, but let's see if I can get these pieces out here. But this way, hopefully it will be a more even match. Alright, so on Nerds, Chuck has joined Team Nerds. So has Director Felix. So has Brian. Alright, guys, you can't all join the Nerd team. Stop joining the same team, slackers. All right. So I got the people on the teams here. Do jocks even play board games? Yes, they do. Alright, okay. Alright. Alright, that's kind of even teams. Alright, I got some balanced teams here. So John, I'm just gonna go in the order that I saw them. So John, you are going to start by being the leader of the jocks, and Chuck, you will start by being leader of the nerds. And I know Chuck already went, but he was the first person, so that's just the way it is. So John is the leader of the jock, and Chuck is the leader of the nerds. So I got everyone else split between different teams. Looks like they're pretty even. So you can join whatever team you want if you're coming in. Of course, at this point, this will be... let me just check the starting setup. Oh yeah, the Duke footman like this and like that. All right, so this is the starting setup. We are going to roll a die to see who goes first. I need a good die here. We'll use one of these dice. 1, 2, 3, light. 4, 5, 6, dark. Nerds are first. All right, so nerds will get the first move. Now let's flip this stuff to make sure it's right. All right. All right, so John is the leader of the jocks currently. Chuck is the leader of the nerds. This will change as the game progresses. For those of you who are just joining in now, you are trying to capture your opponent's Duke with your Duke. You can eat on your turn. You can move one of the pieces according to the movement grid on that piece. Or you can draw from the bag and add a new piece that is adjacent to your Duke. If the Duke has no free spaces, you can't do that. Or you can use a special ability if there's one available, which right now there's not. Each of these people here can move the black dot, means they can move directly next to them. If there's an opponent's piece there, they can capture it. The Duke has triangles, which means he can slide in that direction. After you move a piece, you'll flip it to the other side, which will show a completely different grid. This is the other side of the footman. The other side of the Duke allows him to slide forwards and backwards. So that is how we get started there. So once again, John is going to pick the move, but his team can give him all the information they want. Place your bets. Please don't actually bet, because there's probably something illegal about that. Let's see who wins. And so, John, you are starting first for... Oh, no, I'm sorry, Chuck. Chuck is going to make the first move for the nerds. So people are telling him to draw a tile in the B4, and the tile he draws is the bowman. Now, in the last game, you saw the long bowman. This one's different. He has some good moves where he can move here or jump in different ways. On the other side, the bowman can move forward, but he can also kill a piece in this spot, or this spot without moving. But he's going to start there. So the bowman has been pulled for move 1 of the nerds. Move 1 of the jocks now. What are you going to do? And this is John who's going to be deciding. this and Onitama have a bit in similarities, obviously, but they're fairly different. All right, John also is going to be drawing. So both teams are starting by drawing a tile. So let's reach in the bag. Let's get this one in the back corner here. You guys get a Dragoon. Dragoon is a very interesting piece. The Dragoon can slide backwards diagonally, or it can move forward 2 and jump forward. That's on his flip side. The side he starts with, though, he can move 1 to the side, or he can kill a piece directly, and he has to start here. So he can kill a piece here or here without even moving, or he can move to the side. So the Dragoon is now out. All right, so that is move 1. Chuck, move 2. What are we going to do next? Chuck is thinking about moving b4 to c4. One person says f3 to f2. They must be on the other side. Yeah. Don't let the Duke get stuck. Yes, as we've all seen in the last game, that is a bad idea. One of the things about this game is making sure your pieces get open. Although you'll find it be very interesting when we play the Jarl, how that game has a different feel to it, just because of some of the pieces and some of the abilities of this game. All right, what nerds? Let's make a move. What do you want to do? All right, b4 to c4. The bowman moves up and turns over. Now has a bit more freedom. All right, so now Jocks, move 2. And you can't draw a piece, so you're going to move one of your 2 footmen, or you're going to move the Dragoon. What are you going to do? People are recommending that f4 moves to f5, or some people are saying f4 to e4, which I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, Jarl. Did I say Jarl? Jarl, I meant. John has to go. Someone else is going to be team captain. Fine, we're moving to Mecha Shadow. Mecha Shadow, you are now the new team captain. So Mecha Shadow is going to make the next move. Jocks, Mecha Shadow, you get to make the final call here. You've been given your options. Don't worry, I have all of you guys on the list. We're going to be rotating. We're going to be rotating through each person. So don't worry about that. Nerds, you can start thinking about what you're going to do. I'm just waiting for Mecha Shadow to tell me what to do with the Jocks. Well, he said yay, or they said yay. However, it would be more important probably to tell me what your move is. I think you've already got the advice. Now he's asking for advice. Like I said, so now here's all the moves that were already mentioned. F4 to E4. Some people already mentioned F2 to I don't know if anyone mentioned F2 to F1. All right, F4 to E4 is the official move. So the footman moves forward and moves over like that. All right, nerds, what you gonna do? This is move 3. Chuck, the floor is yours. Can we rotate host, says Trevor. I'm hoping he means rotate the leaders, because a host seems mean. There's no other host here, Trevor. I'm the only one. We want Summerer. Oh, he did mean hosts. I'm going to have to ban somebody. Bowman captures Footman. Boom, just blows him away. Alright. Alright, Mecha Shadow, what's your move for the Jocks? Alright, guys. Stop yelling about the host rotation. You're making me feel bad. There's no other host in this room or even in this house. Alright. Jocks, I feel like the nerd just blew a piece away there, and I don't feel like you got any advantage. Oh, it's part of the plan, says Lars. Alright. Some people are saying E3 to E4. Some people are saying to draw. Some persons say to F3 to F4. But it is Mecha Shadow who is going to make the move. Remember, if you are the leader, you actually have to make a choice, okay? Some of you leaders, I'm going to not pick you anymore because some of you wait for a really long time to decide what to do, even when you've been given a lot of advice. The goal of this game is to make moves quickly. Mecha Shadow says E3 to E4, so the footman moves over and flips like that. All right, Chuck, move number 4 for the nerds. Lars is giving you ideas, but I feel pretty confident that Lars is on the jock, so I don't think the nerd should listen to him. Alright guys, let's not be talking about bad about Star Wars here. Come on now, look at this. Alright. Chuck is saying C4 to C3. Any other opinions? Two bad people are already yelling about Star Wars. Some people are saying C4 to D4. Lots of people are saying different things, but I'm waiting for Chuck to make the call. Some people say C4 to C3. Chuck says the same thing. C4 to C3. Moving the bowman over 1, like this. Alright, Chuck, that was your last turn. Next will be Felix. Anyway, back to Mecha Shadow. Director Felix will be taking over for the nerds. Mecha Shadow, it's your turn to move for the jocks. Some people are saying A3 to B3. Okay, that's interesting. Some people are still talking about Star Wars Episode 1 and how bad it is, which I still think is not as bad as people say it is. I actually enjoyed the movie and my kids loved it. Mostly because I did not tell them that they should not like it. Most kids who do not like Episode 1 have been told by their parents not to like it. Any kid who has watched it without parental interference has actually enjoyed it. But anyway, it's not a big deal. Alright, what are we at here? Who am I? Mecha Shadow. What does he say? Draw! Alright, so we're at nerds. Oh no, we're at jocks. Alright, jocks are drawing. Alright, we have drawn a general. The general can move forward 1 or backward 1. He can also jump to the side. He can move to the side. He can jump diagonally forward. On the flip side, he has those command symbols where he can move people from around him to different spots. So, where do you want the general to start? E3 or F4? E3 or F4? No, I'm not saying Star Wars Episode 1 is great. I'm just saying that Star Wars Episode 1 is not as horrible as people say it is. Now, if you want to talk about the love scene in Episode 2, I'm all with you, okay? But Episode 1, the pod race is amazing. The lightsaber duel is amazing. Kids love it. Mecha Shadow said F4. Okay. Oh, now you're saying E3. F4, F4, F4. Okay. Alright, F4 is where we're putting it. All right, now, the next leader of the jocks is going to be Mecha Shadow. Mecha Shadow. Back to you, Felix. For the nerds, this is turn 5 of the game. What do the nerds wish to do? Oh, some people are asking, how do you know what side is the starting side? Well, if you can look at the pawn. If it's a black pawn with a white background, it's the starting side. If it's a white pawn and a black background, that's the flip side, reverse side. That's how you know when you draw it. All right, Director Felix is going to be deciding which one to do here. People are still talking about Star Wars movies. Chuck is recommending moving A3 to B3. Felix is making the decision for the nerds. The next leader of the jocks will be Nikolai. Nikolai is the next leader of the jocks. He'll be making the next move, so you can start thinking about that now. A3 to B3. Footman moves up and flips over. All right, Nikolai, it's your turn to make the first move for the jocks. Some people are saying, let's see here. Well, I'm still seeing nerd moves. Some people here are mentioning F4 to D5 as a move. Others are pointing out I should probably plug in the computer. All right, so let's see. So far we've had recommendations to go F4 to D5, and that is it. Lars has a bigger plan in mind, I think. Can a Dragoon not move forward unless it kills a piece? The Dragoon can't even move forward then. It can kill a piece, but it doesn't move to those spots. It kills here, and it can kill here, but it doesn't move forward. You'd have to move it sideways, then it has the option to move forward. Some people are suggesting E4 to C4, F4 to F1, but Nikolai says F4 to F6. So the general is jumping all the way over here, and that opens up his command side. All right, Felix, move number 6 for the nerds. By the way, this is who I have on each team. I have Chuck, Felix, Brian, Cileone, Family Showdown, Joseph, Brian, and Darkness on nerds. I have Mecha Shadow, Nikolai, Lars, Tony, Felipe, and G-Bart1 on jocks. If I didn't call your name and you want to be on one of the teams, let me know and I'll throw you on that team. All right, but either way, Felix is going to be deciding the and I'm rotating through the leadership. We may not make it to you if the game ends. So we just have to wait for now. But right now, this is the jocks here at the bottom and the nerds are at the top. Some people are recommending moving A5 to B5. We'll see if that happens, if that is the case. All right, Felix says A5 to B5. The footman moves up. All right, over to the jocks. Nikolai, your turn. All right, so now it is, yes. So we're back to Nikolai for the jocks. The Tigertron says F3 to F4, moving that Duke out. Nikolai says to do the same thing. All right, F3 to F4. So the Duke moves over and flips like that. All right, Felix, turn 7 for the nerds. Boo Hiss 83 says, did you really write in the game board? I did, but it's not a big deal because I can play this game with the board like this, right? And if we ever do want to remember or like record a game on how it works, well, that's how you do it. An A through F and a 1 through 6. So Felix is getting lots of information here. F3 to F4. Some people are saying draw. Some people are, yeah, it seems like the consensus is to draw for the nerds, but it is up to Felix to decide what to do. He says draw. All right, let's draw. All right, the nerds have 3 spots to put someone. You have a pikeman who can go forward diagonally in different directions, and then when you flip him over, he can go forward straight, backwards twice, and he can shoot a little bit forward. So I'm going to stick him here, B4 for now, but that's just a temporary holding spot. You can also put him in A3 or A5. Felix, you're going to decide. Nikolai, get ready to make your move once you decide where he goes. Tell me where you want the pikemen, and then you guys are going to decide where that goes, and then meanwhile, jocks are going to decide what's going to happen next, with Nikolai making the final decision. B4. Well, then he's in the right spot. All right, jocks, all the way over to you. What you going to do? Nikolai is the leader here at this point, so we're just going to wait for you guys to decide which move to make next. I'm not doing, someone just asked if I'm doing a Q&A today. I am not. I'll be doing a Q&A probably tomorrow afternoon with Sam and Z. Pikeman is your least favorite piece, says Chuck. I guess. I really don't like the Duchess, though. The Pikeman's okay. I mean, they have like no backwards or sideways capability, but I like the Duchess less than the Pikeman. All right, so we're still waiting for a final decision here from Nikolai. Some people are saying draw. Some people are saying move F2 to F3 or F6 to D5. Which I don't... Yeah, that's possible. Let's see what the choices are. Nikolai says, draw a new tile. No problem. All right, the jocks are drawing a new tile. And the new, whoops, well, those tiles don't count. The new tile is a wizard. Oh man, you guys are going to love that one. I'm going to put the wizard here in F3, but if you want to move it to F5, you can, so just let me know. The wizard, by the way, folks, it can go in any direction around him, and when he flips over, can jump even farther in any direction around him. Meanwhile, nerds, get ready to make your move. Felix, this is going to be move 8, and it's going to be your final move. After this, Brian will be taking over for the nerds. But Felix is going to be making the last turn here. Nikolai, as soon as Nikolai says where he wants the tile to go, whether he wants it in F3 or F5, you can go. F5. All right, let's go, nerds. Where would you like to move now? That's where the wizard went. So Felix is going to be making it. One person is telling him to go from B4 to D6. Footman cannot jump over the bowman because that's a black dot, not a white dot. You need a white dot to be able to jump over somebody. A black dot does not. So here's another vote for B4 to D6. Just waiting on Felix to make the choice here. And he does. B4 to D6. All right, that was your last turn for now. Brian, you are the next leader of the nerds. So you'll be making the next choice. Meanwhile, Nikolai, this is your last turn for the jocks. After this, Lars will be taking over the jocks. So, what are we going to do here, folks? So we're taking a look right here. We're waiting for Nikolai to make a move here for the... Some people are saying F2 to D4 for the jocks. We haven't seen a lot of attacking in this game, more just positioning around. Nikolai says E4 to D3. All right, so E4 to D3, so that moves here, like that. It's an interesting move. Oh, okay. All right. E4 to D3 is an illegal move. Why is that an illegal move? Let me check it. Sure looks like a legal move to me. How is that an illegal move? Okay, it's not an illegal move. All right, great. So anyhow, that was Nikolai's final move. Brian, you're making a move for the nerds. This is turn number 9 in the game. Lars, you'll be making the next move for the jocks. Brian is asking people, should he move from C3 to B4? Or draw a new tile. Nikolai is telling the next person that they should capture the bowman. I think it all depends on where they go. They might just draw a new tile. Take the wizard. I don't think you want to take the wizard. That would be a bad thing. Yes, but just to clarify, you are in check. This duke can kill your duke next turn. Alright, Brian is saying draw new tile. So that is what the nerds are doing. Let me find the right bag. Here we go. Draw a new tile. Alright, you drew the priest. You have to put it here, really, because otherwise you lose the game. The priest can go diagonally in any directions as a slide, and when you flip him over, then he can move or jump in any direction as a slide. Alright. Okay, move number 9 for the jocks. Lars, what are you going to do? So we're just waiting on the jocks now to decide what to do. They kind of put some pressure on the nerds there, even though the nerds have one extra piece on the board. One person is saying move from D3 to C3, so capturing the bowman with a footman, which could be, you know, I mean, you'll probably lose the footman, but at the same time, getting rid of the bowman is better than the footman. Nikolai agrees here. Another D3 to C3. Tony says F5 to E4. So F5 to E4, which would be an interesting, put you in a place that, well, it wouldn't be able to capture anything. You'd be able to go here, 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 but still would clear up the board. Lars says D3 to C3, though. So the footman captures the bowman, putting him in position now to capture the priest also. So the bowman has been captured. Brian, turn 10 for the nerds. The footman has encroached in your area. You can kill him with your priest if you so desire, but actually I just realized you can't, because then the Duke will kill you. Wow, Jocks, this is a good drive by you. I'm very impressed. Brian is wondering, should they kill the wizard, which they can do, or should they move the Duke out of the way? Chuck says things are about to get ugly. I agree. They would get uglier if I stuck my face on screen. Not funny. iCubic, I heard you 7,000 times. You're on the Jocks. I promise. Brian is asking if he should kill the wizard. Jim wants to flip the table. This is why we're doing it on the thing, so that no one can flip the table. Chuck recommends going from B3 to C4. Kabuki Kid says go from A4 to A2. A lot of intriguing choices here, guys. Lars says they will overcome the nerds in all capital letters. Nerds! But really it comes down to what Brian is going to do. Brian has a plan. D6 kills. F5. The wizard is dead. Alright, so the pikeman kills the wizard. We are now over to Lars for the Jocks. What is the Jocks' next move? Two teachers, two kids says they are playing only as a consultant. To both sides? Does shooting flip the tile? It does. Otherwise, shooters would be too powerful. You'd put them in a spot and they would just keep shooting and shooting and shooting. Nikolai now says C4 to B4, please. No one is on C4. Also, the pikeman is in check, is checking the Duke. Oh, wow. Okay. So one person says move F4 to B4, taking the priest with the Duke. Whew. I'm getting all sweaty watching this game, guys. It's like watching the computer play. I'm just having two people play each other. Alright, but Lars is going to be the one to make the final decision here. Lots of people are giving ideas. F4 to B4 seems to be the consensus, but there are other things that could be done too. The Duke has to move or place a new piece. Actually, placing a new piece would not change anything. The pikeman would still kill you. It must be a lot of pressure to be the leader of one of these teams, because if you're the Lars, all right, F4 to B. He says, I should be clear. He says, yup, us jocks go straight in like orcs going crazy by going F4 to B4. We will crush you, nerds! F4 to B4. The priest is dead. The Duke flips over. Priest is dead. Brian, turn number 11 for the nerds. What are they going to do? The Duke is not in danger at this point in time, but both footmen are at a disadvantage. Let's It's not looking too sharp for the nerds, but it is not lost, I don't believe. So there's lots of things that could still be done, and it is up for Brian to decide what to do here. All glory to the jocks, says Howitzer Bugs. Brian thinks you should draw a new tile. Jim senses a wedgie forthcoming. Stronghold, Tom versus United. Actually, guys, one of the things that I'm doing here when I play these games, I'm trying to pick games with few choices. You see how long it takes people to respond whether to put a tile here or here. Can you imagine if you had 50 choices? It would be much longer, much more difficult. So we're not going to do a lot of complex games on the internet for that reason. Brian is getting a lot of things saying drawn. Some people are saying move b5 to d5. But it's going to be up to Brian. Brian says b5 to c4. So b5 to c4. Moves here, flipping it, putting the jocks, Duke, in check. All right, Lars, your turn for the jocks. Their footman has come from behind. What will you do? I feel like I know what you're going to do, but... Can you turn around the general? No, you can't turn around any piece. Trevor wants to know, did I destroy my Duke board by writing on it? No, I don't believe it's destroyed. Let me check. It seems okay. Hang on. Now, if I really want to destroy the board, what I would do is I take this knife, and we will cut out each of these pieces here with the knife. Ha, you guys thought I would do it. What? No. Destroy the board. Come on now. Come on now. Okay, I'm sorry. I've been not paying attention. The Nikolai says the jocks are moving b4 to b3. And that's a captured piece. Sorry. I got caught up with my knife. All right, Brian, this is your final move. Move 12 for the nerds. What are you going to do, Brian? After this, if C. Leon is still around, they're going to be leading the nerds. If they're not, then it's family showdown. C. Leon, if you're still here, just like ping me so I know you're here. But meanwhile, Brian, it's your final turn. Lars says, we jocks will crush puny nerds with long 6 by going b4 to b3. What? Oh, I see. Brian says draw for... Alright, let's draw. We're drawing a nerd. So here we go. Let's see what we got. It's another pikeman! Oh, man. Where are you going to put that? I'm going to put it in b4 for now, but you also have the option of putting it in a3 or a5. Your choice. For the pikemen, where would you like it? All right. Well, after Brian does that, Lars, it will be your final turn for the jocks. So Brian just needs to tell me where the pikeman goes. And then... Sometimes the luck of the draw is not good for you. Lars, be ready to go anyway. A5, some people say. A5, all right. All right, Lars, your turn. I haven't seen C. Leon. Oh, he had to respond. Okay, great. So you are going to be making the next move for the nerds. You are now the nerds leader. And Lars, this is your final turn. After this, Tony will be taking over for the jocks. Wow, there's so many different options. Very interesting. Nikolai says that you should draw. Tony says that you should move C3 to B2. Brett says C3 to B4. McCoffee Fiend says C3 to A3 is a win. It is not. Is it? Oh, that'd be interesting. Maybe it is. No, because the footman can't jump, okay? He can't go through the Duke. That's why you can't do that. C3 can't go to A3 for the people who are asking to do that. Orcs will call in reinforcements, says Lars. I like Lars. He's getting into the theme of this game. All right. What are the nerds going in? Or jocks, I'm sorry. A priest who can go diagonally in any direction, and on the other side, move or jump in any direction. So I'm going to put him here for now in B4, but we can move him to A3 or B2. So you decide. While you're deciding, C. Leon, get ready to make your first move, which will be turn 13 of the game. Meanwhile, Lars, you need to decide where that piece goes. After that piece is gone, C. Leon will be taking turn 13. After he takes a turn, Tony will be taking a turn for the jocks. So we're getting different options here. B2, A3, some people are saying. B2. Two people have said B2, one person has said A, two people have said A3, but what matters is what Lars says. He will decide where it goes. Wow, the team seems to be split here on whether to put it in B2 or A3. Lars, what do you say? Although, I guess there is a couple people saying B4. Lars said B4. All right. It's staying where it is. Now, it is the nerd's turn. C. Leon, turn 13. What are you going to do? Chuck thinks they should move A5 to B4. Some people are saying A5 to A4. I don't see that's even possible. I should mention here, let me just check on this. I don't believe this game has dukes can't move into check. So it's like if this duke moves here, oh, you can't capture me with your duke because I'll kill yours. No, I don't believe the game says that. I mean, if someone knows that there's a rule otherwise, but I'm pretty sure you kill your opponent's duke, it's win. This isn't checkmate. This is kill your opponent's duke. So if you kill your opponent's duke with yours, you're fine. All right, C. Leon says A5 to B4. Sorry. A5 to B4, so the pikeman kills the priest, putting the pikeman in a crazy position. The priest is dead. And now we are moving to Tony. Tony for the jocks. Actually, I haven't checked to see if Tony is still here or not. I haven't seen him. Oh, yeah, Tony's still here. All right, Tony, you're making that choice. The pikeman has just killed your priest. Okay, never mind, guys. I just looked it up in the rules. And the player cannot move a troop tile if it would allow the opponent to capture his duke tile or any tile acting as a duke in the next turn. You can't put your duke in danger. All right. So there is kind of a check type thing. All right, Tony says C3 to B4. C3 to B4. So the footman now captures the pikeman, putting the duke in danger. All right, C. Leon, turn 14 for the nerds. All right, so nerds, what do you think C. Leon should do at this point? You have 3 pieces on the board. You have a pikeman here, a footman here, and a duke. Your opponents have a dragoon, a general, and a footman and a duke in your face. What are you going to do? A lot of choices here. Some people are saying kill the footman with the footman. Someone says, Tom, this game should be in your essentials line. Well, possibly, but remember, Kados is already printing it, so I can't pick a game for my essentials line that's in print by another company. All right, C4 to B4 is it. Footman takes footman and flips over. A lot of dead pieces at this point. 4 dead from each person. We are now moving to Tony. Tony, this is turn 14 for the jocks. What to do here? Wow, there's a lot going on. I'm really not sure what... You guys have really cleared the board out, but I'm really happy by this because I really like the forward pushing and the back and forth that's going on between the different characters. Tony is saying draw, so draw it is. And this is for the jocks again. So next to the duke. Sorry about that. A knight. A knight can jump forward or it can go back. And when you flip it over, it can slide forward or go back. I'm going to currently put your knight here in C3, but the knight could also go to B2 or A3. So you guys are going to decide which spot the knight should go to. So Tony's going to decide that, and then after that, C. Leon is going to take turn 15 of the game. Tony is saying A3. That's where you want it? Okay. A3. Alright, nerds, it's your turn. C. Leon, it is now turn 15. Chuck recommends that you move B4 to A3 and kill. No, you can't do that. Okay? I'm not going to allow that. You can't move B4 to A3 because if you kill this, then this duke will kill you. And a duke can't... We're playing with the rules. A duke can't put himself into danger. So Leon said move b4 to a3, but I can't let you do that because then you put yourself where the other duke could kill you. Oh, b4 to a3. All right, guys, I apologize. I apparently can't read. All right, so this footman kills him. And, well, that is completely unexpected. It looks like the jocks are now in a bit of a hot seat here because your duke cannot kill that footman. All right, Tony, what do we do? Some people are saying move b3 to d3. Oh, that's what Tony said, b3 to d3. So we're switching that over. All right, see, Leon, this is your final turn. 16 after this, Family Showdown is taking over. If they're not here, then we're moving to Joseph. Tony, you'll get one last turn after this, and then Felipe will be going after that. What are you guys going to do next, nerds? So, Leon, you get to make the choice. I like how Nikolai... This is what I foresaw, guys. Well, then you foresee very much things that we do not. I'm very impressed with that. All right, some people say move a4 to a6. Cover the pikeman. That's what Chuck recommends you do, see, Leon. Some people are saying to draw. Draw or move the pikeman. But you could also move the duke or even the footman. Chuck says, leave the pikeman. No one cares. All right, see, Leon, we need you to make a move. What are you going to do? Someone here says move d6 to e5. Family Showdown says a4 to a6. Which one would you like to do? a4 to a6 it is. The duke slides over. All right, Tony, it's your final turn. Family Showdown, you'll be making the next nerd turn. Tony, after you're done, Felipe will be taking the next jock turn if he's still around. Two Teachers, Two Kids is my games. The Dukes usually not go this long. That's true, but we're also on a 30-second delay with me hearing the things back and forth, and there's also groupthink and everything, so yeah. This is a much longer game than normal, but that's actually an interesting game. I really thought that the jocks had that one there, and it kind of fell apart at the end there. Tony says draw. All right. We're drawing for the jocks. So let's draw. A champion. A champion moves in this, orthogonally 1 or jumps orthogonally 2, or he shoots next to himself or jumps orthogonally 2. Starts this way. I'm going to place him here in D4, but you also have the options of putting him in C3, D2, and E3. So just tell me where you want the champion to go. And then Family Showdown will be making the move for the nerds, which will be turn 17. So, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? All right, Tony, hurry up. Decide where you want it to be so that Family Showdown can take its turn. Family Showdown, be ready. Tony says D4. All right, Family Showdown, what are you going to do? It is turn 17. Some people are saying move A3 to B3. Some people are saying you should draw here as the nerds. And draw is the word. All right. What do you got? What do you got? It's another pikeman. I'm a terrible drawer. Your third pikeman. I'm going to put him here in B6, but if you want him in A5, please let me know. Meanwhile, Felipe, you'll be making the next move for the jocks, if you're here. If Felipe's not here, we're going to G-Bort 1 to go next. So are either of you here? Family Showdown says B6. Boom! Alright. It's there. Great. Turn 17. Felipe or G-Bort. I'm trying to see if either one of them is here, because if not, we're going to move to a different leader. No political humor, please. Boo. All right, well, I don't see either one of those people responding. So, next we're moving to D Tigertron. Are you still here? Because if so, then you're the leader of the jocks. And if you don't, I know iCubic is going to step up. Meanwhile, people are giving all sorts of moves. D4 to B4, D4 to D6, D4 to B4. D Tigertron is here! Hooray! Make a move. You're the leader of the jocks. That's true. It's 16 years later and we're still making jokes about 2000 politics. Interesting. All right, D Tigertron says D4 to C4. So the champion moves here, which flips him like this. All right, turn 18 for the nerds. Family Showdown. Family Showdown is the leader of the nerds, and D Tigertron is leader of the jocks currently. A3 to B3 is what some people are saying. A3 to B3 all the way, nerds. Family Showdown, A3 to B3. There we go. Footman comes in, turns over. All right, turn 18 for the Jocks. D Tigertron, what are you going to do? Give him some ideas, folks. Your Duke is in check. What you going to do? I think I know what you're going to do, but I'm never sure. Good move by the Nerds. I really thought, like I said, the Jocks had this game in the bag. All right, some people are recommending that the Duke takes the pikeman on the side. D Tigertron is the one who makes a choice. Most people are saying take the pikeman. It looks almost like a complete consensus. Yep, there we go. Duke slides over, takes the pikeman. Back to Nerds, turn 19 for Family Showdown. What are you going to do? They just took your pikeman. Are you going to allow that to stand? I'm going to guess that people are going to tell you to take their champion with your footman, but I do not know. Yep, most people are saying, yep, B3 to C4. That's what I thought. All right, champion's dead. All right, turn 19 for the Jocks. D Tigertron is still making the moves for them. What should the Jocks do now? It is a Duke, a General, and a Dragoon against a Footman, a Pikeman, and another Duke. Some people are suggesting that the Jocks should draw. Some people are saying move B3 to C4. Oh, no, it's already done. I'm sorry. Tony is saying drawing is the best move. F6 to D5 is what some other people are saying. That would be a really interesting move, actually. Can I see the flip side of the Dragoon? You may. The flip side of him lets you go forward, here, jump to those two spots, and slide diagonally in reverse. Director Felix says the Jocks should concede. But what I really need them to do is I need them to make a move. Draw is the word of the day. All right. The Duke is drawing. And let's grab that one. What is it? It's another Footman. All right. I'm going to put him on D5 for now, but you also have the option of putting him on E6 or C6. So you guys let me know what you want to do. Once I've decided to do that, Family Showdown, you will take turn 20. This will be your final turn as leader. We'll be moving to Joseph next for leader of the Nerds. Lars wants to see the other side of the General. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll let you see that while you're deciding. D Tigertron says D5. Okay, so he's where he's at. That's the other side of the General, by the way. All right, Nerds. What you gonna do? Family Showdown, final turn. D Tigertron, next turn will be your final turn. after this, Joseph will be moving for the nerds, and iCubic will be going for the jocks. All right, Family Showdown, what are we doing? The darkness says that bird, bird, bird is the word, but I'm pretty sure it's bird, 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 bird is the word. I say bird, 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 bird is the word. I say bird, bird. Yeah, that's what it is. Nerds are being recommended to draw. Is that what you're going to do? Draw, not a pikeman, please. I don't actually think a pikeman's possible. I believe there are only 3 pikemen. The Marshal! Just so you can see, the Marshal has big, long jumps and can slide sideways. And then on the other side, it can move all around it and even has a little bit of command around him. There's no option. He must start here next to the Duke. All right, that was Family Showdown's final turn. D Tigertron, take your final turn. Joseph, you'll be moving next for the nerds. Just let me know that you're there, please, so I know if you're not, then we're going to move to somebody else. All right, well, I'm just basically waiting to hear what to do next. D Tigertron should be deciding. Some people are saying F2 to F3. I'm not seeing Joseph say that he's there, so I'm going to cross him off. I believe the darkness is gone. If the darkness is gone, then Kabuki Kid will be next as the leader of the nerds. D Tigertron says F2 to D2. Actually, you can't do that because F2 to D2 is just something you're shooting at. Unless that's your move. If you're saying you're shooting there and then I'll flip you over, that's fine. But you can't actually move there. Okay, the darkness is here. Darkness, you'll be making the next turn since I haven't heard from Joseph. I'm not seeing what you guys are doing. All right, D Tigertron. I need a decision here. F2 to F3. All right, F2 to F3. Move him over. Dragoon flips. All right, iCubic, you will be making the next move for the jocks. Meanwhile, Darkness. Turn 21 for the nerds. Some people are saying move D6 to B5 or C5. Some people are saying, oh, you can't draw. Nerds can't draw. Although the jocks can easily draw since their Duke still has 2 people on each side. So Darkness is going to decide. Some people are saying A5 to C3. Jumping from here to here. The Dragoon does not have, oh, does have shooting moves on the other side, but they don't have them right now. All right, Darkness, let's make a move. Come on, guys. Remember, when you're the leader, you actually have to make a move so that the game moves quickly. You don't need to wait for me to call you out. Just make a move. You know, I'll usually tell you ahead of time when it's your turn, but it certainly makes the game go faster if we have to wait on you to decide. Again, there's no money on this game, so it's okay. A5 to C3. Hooray. All right, so A5 to C3. The marshal's here. Now remember, the marshal has command over the 3 spots in front of them, so if a friendly piece is here, they can move a friendly piece from one of these 3 spots to one of the other 3 spots. All right. That was turn 21. So now we're going to turn 21 for iCubic. iCubic, what are you going to do? Well, this is taking longer than I thought, but again, it's probably a lot of it just because of lags. Some people are recommending drawing. Some people are recommending F3 to E3. Draw, says the jocks. You've drawn the assassin. I'm going to put the assassin here for now in C6, but you could also put the assassin in E6 if you so chose. iCubic, just let me know which spot you'd like it in. Meanwhile, Darkness, you're going to be taking turn 22 after this. I bet the jocks are thrilled that they just got the assassin. That was a really good piece. Oh yeah, you're right. People are saying checkmate, and I do not believe that is the game. That was just a very, very lucky draw. However, at the same time, the nerds made the classic mistake of, we know it's classic because we've seen Vassal do it, of getting the Duke with that forward motion behind somebody else and just getting stuck in that position. The flip side of the assassin, for those wondering what it is, looks like this. So that's interesting. All right, so jocks are the winners. Jocks crush nerds. Congratulations to Mecha Shadow, Nikolai, Lars, Tony, D Tigertron, iCubic, Ian, Fluffy, and John. And sorry, Chuck, Felix, Brian, Celeon, Family Showdown, Joseph, Morph, Brian, Darkness, and Kabuki Kid. And I guess the people who were advising both sides can take pleasure in the winners. Hey guys, thanks so much for playing this. Just so you know, we're going to be doing another game in, let's see, I'm going to do that 9. I need some breaks in between these. I'm running and saying hi to my family and doing stuff like that. And also, you know, just need some time to take this one down and set the next one up. So we will be back here at 9 o'clock, so keep an eye out for another game. Thanks so much. I hope you like the Duke. I think it's good. If we ever do this one in the future, we'll play with some of the cool pieces here, like the trebuchets, and or maybe we'll play a Robin Hood, and you can use Morgana and all these weird pieces that I'll have to explain all the rules to them. All right. Everyone have a good time. I'll see you in a bit. Until next time, my name is Tom Vassal, and you've just watched the Jocks beat the Nerds in the Duke, and you watched everybody whoop up on Tom Vassal. Thanks so much, guys. See you next time.